Okay, this is video number 4. I'm going to make this the final video because of the stuff that's going on around here. You guys are probably picking it all up and can probably hear everything except for what I want you to hear. So first let me apologize for the first 3 videos that I'm not going to be able to edit. I can't take out the background noise or anything else because it's all being done by webcam, which has no editing program as far as I know. And if it does have an editing program, I don't know how to work the damn thing because it's not iMovie from the time that I know how to use iMovie. And all the other equipment and things that I bought aren't compatible. Way to go, Apple. Thanks a fucking lot. Anyway, so as I was saying, no one raises a serial killer. No one raises a rapist. It's not really something that we raise. That's some crap that just, I guess, insignificantly happens because of influences of our friends, possibly TV, possibly music. But here's the thing on that. Here's where I get hypocritical. You can't blame music, you can't blame movies, you can't blame video games for your actions. No matter who the fuck you are, you can't do that. Because they're not the ones holding a gun to your head saying, this is what you have to do. This is what you're going to do. And like it or not, here it is. So, I'm going to try and make this a little bit quicker. Especially since my computer picks up every little sound. Probably can hear an ant fart. You can't watch your kids 24 hours a day. All you can do is raise them, pray for them, and hope you're doing the right thing at all times. And hopefully you're making them productive members of society. In the events that they do not become productive members of society, we as people in society who are productive members of society, who are always trying to be do-gooders, and for those who are waiting for the rapture or whatever your beliefs are, it's not on us. It's on them. It's not on their parents. It's on them. So before you go hanging out with people's parents to dry like they do with the lady at Columbine, and before the Matthews family has to suffer like everyone else, the victims' families aren't going after them. So we shouldn't either. And the thing about that is, you have to have more sympathy for the victims and their families. You have to give them time to grieve. You have to help them get through their process. You have to help these victims' friends, man, because their friends have been wondering for years, could I have done something differently? Could I have been better with helping them? Most of the time, if you, depending on where you were in that situation, the answer is probably no. So, for Miss Harrington's friends who were at the concert in which she was taken, they wouldn't let her back in. That's clearly not y'all's fault. And hopefully that hasn't been with you as long as it has been with the people who wouldn't let them back in. If anything, they could have done better. They could have had security escort her home. They could have found some way, somehow, to get her home safely. They could have provided her with a ride instead of having her call a cab or some unnamed party because they wouldn't let her in because she stepped out to supposedly smoke a cigarette. I don't know the details, but that's what I was told, and I'm probably off by a little bit. But those guys, they wouldn't let her back in. She paid her fucking ticket. Why didn't y'all stamp her hand? Let her back in the fucking concert. She paid her money for the ticket. Her life would still be alive right now. But they didn't do that because of rules and regulations. Well, sometimes, you gotta bend them a little bit. You don't have to break them, but you can bend them. And as far as Mrs. Graham, people seen this. We got it on camera. I don't go out and party. But for all you party goers, and for all her friends, first off, you never not have the buddy system when you're a girl. And I'm not saying you shouldn't have the buddy system when you're a dude, but you should never not have the buddy system when you're a girl, because most girls are more subject to be victimized than dudes. Most of the time, if you're a dude, somebody's going to beat you up, they're going to shoot you. Unless there's some kind of freaky person, more than likely you're not really going to have to deal with the things that girls will have to deal with. Girl victims are a little bit more valuable than boy victims. I'm not trying to be an asshole about it. It's just the way the world works. At 42 years old, if I didn't know that by now, I will never fucking know it. But the thing about it, you kidnap a girl, you got more things that you can do besides rape and making them a sex traffic and all that stuff. They don't really sex traffic boys. They don't really rape boys unless they're insane and they don't really do the things that they do to girls. And people gotta understand it. It's not being gender biased or sexist. It's just the way the fucking world has worked for centuries. You know, kidnap a woman, regardless of gender or ethnicity, or mostly regardless of ethnicity. If you kidnap a woman, you know, you're gonna do more lewd, crude, rude. God damn!